In the dead of winter, February 1945, 8 American soldiers were trapped behind enemy lines, scheduled for execution at dawn. Their only hope, one man, armed not with overwhelming firepower, but with skills learned deep underground. This is the incredible story of Private First Class Daniel Mercer, a former coal miner who pulled off one of the most audacious rescue missions of World War II. Picture this. It's Valentine's Day, but there's no love in the air. Instead, there rests the biting cold of a Belgian winter and the grim reality of a German prison camp. Inside, 8 American POWs, including Mercer's friend Tommy Henderson, are counting their final hours. The U.S. Army knows they're there, but a conventional assault is impossible. The risk is too high. The defense is too strong. It's a suicide mission. But for Daniel Mercer, it was a personal one. Before he wore a soldier's uniform, Mercer spent 18 years in the dark, dusty coal mines of West Virginia. 18 years of learning how to move in silence, how to navigate claustrophobic spaces, how to understand the subtle groans and stresses of a structure before it gives way. He possessed a level of patience and composure that military training alone couldn't teach. These were the tools he would use to defy an entire enemy encampment. As night fell, Mercer's mission began. He had to cross 600 yards of open, frozen ground. Every crunch of snow, every snapped twig could mean instant death. But Mercer didn't walk. He used a slide crawl technique honed in the mines, distributing his weight so perfectly that he moved like a ghost across the icy terrain. He was a shadow against the snow, completely unheard and unseen. His first major obstacle was the camp's perimeter. 3 layers of barbed wire fences, tangled concertina wire, and a web of deadly trip. For a regular soldier, it was an impassable fortress. For a miner, it was just another puzzle of tension and structure. He didn't cut the wires, which would have made a sound and alerted the guards. Instead, he carefully manipulated them, using his knowledge of stress points to lift and weave his body through the gaps, leaving the defenses completely intact and undisturbed. It was a masterclass in silent infiltration. Finally, he reached the dilapidated warehouse where his friends were being held. Any loud noise would bring the guards running. So how do you communicate with the prisoners and break them out without making a sound? Mercer got as close as he dared to the back wall and used a series of quiet, rhythmic taps. A miner's code. Inside, Henderson, also a former miner, recognized the signals. It was a language of hope spoken in whispers against the wood. Now, for the escape route, Mercer couldn't just smash a hole in the wall. He began to work on the structure's weak points, a skill he'd perfected. To prevent mine collapses, he gently removed loose nails, pried away rotting boards, and gradually weakened a section of the wall. He worked with the patience of a craftsman, making it seem like the old structure was simply succumbing to a natural, accidental collapse. When the moment was right, a final, quiet push created an opening, just large enough for a man to squeeze through. One by one, the 8 prisoners slipped out into the darkness. Mercer was there to guide them, leading them back through the intricate maze of tripwires and barbed wire he had navigated just hours before. The tension was immense. One mistake, one slip, and all 9 of them would be lost. They moved with the silence of phantoms, following their savior out of the jaws of death, but they weren't safe yet. Their escape was discovered, and soon the night was filled with the sounds of shouting guards and the baying of hounds. The chase was on. Thinking fast, Mercer made a decision that defined his character. He told the others to head for a nearby drainage system while he acted as a decoy. He deliberately broke cover, drawing the enemy's attention and fire onto himself. Bullets whizzed past his head as he darted through the trees, leading the German patrol on a wild goose chase away from the escaping POWs. His gamble paid off. The 8 men made it to the drainage pipe and crawled through the muck and freezing water to safety. After shaking his pursuers, Mercer, using his incredible sense of direction learned in the labyrinthine mines, navigated his way back and rejoined his comrades. He had led them through the enemy's front door and out the back, right under their noses. The result of this one-man mission, all 8 POWs were rescued. Not a single American casualty. Mercer's superiors were stunned. What he had accomplished was considered impossible. His unique application of mining skills to a military problem was revolutionary. For his extraordinary bravery, his innovative tactics, and his complete disregard for his own safety. Daniel Mercer was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, one of the nation's highest military honors. The impact of that single night rippled through history. Mercer's methods were studied and later influenced the training protocols for combat engineers and even special forces units, teaching them the value of unconventional thinking. But the most profound legacy was a human one. Those 8 men he saved went on to live full lives. They got married, had children, and saw their grandchildren grow up. Combined, they were granted an additional 432 years of life. Hundreds of descendants exist today who would never have been born if not for Mercer's courage. After the war, Daniel Mercer didn't seek fame or fortune. It went home back to the coal mines that had given him his life-saving skills. He married, raised a family, and eventually became a shift supervisor, a quiet, respected leader, both above and below ground. The men he rescued never forgot him. They formed a group called the February 15th Club, and they stayed in touch with Mercer for the rest of their lives. A brotherhood forged in the freezing cold of a Belgian night. When Daniel Mercer passed away in 1991, his family made a special request. The Distinguished Service Cross, the medal that symbolized his incredible heroism, was buried with him. It was a fitting tribute to a humble man who used his unique gifts, not for glory, but to bring his brothers home. His story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest weapon isn't a gun, but the knowledge held in your own 2 hands and the courage held in your heart. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as we did, please hit that like button. Subscribe for more incredible tales from history, and share this video to keep the memory of heroes like Daniel Mercer alive. We'll see you in the next one.